Hi there, this is Anna Prosser for Kingston HyperX here at MLG Orlando 2011, where the tournament has just ended. I'm sitting here with captain of Team Evil Geniuses, Geoff Robinson, in control, my personal favorite StarCraft player. Geoff, can you give us a rundown of how this tournament went for Team Evil Geniuses?
You know, it's really nice when a lot of the dedication that Evil Geniuses put into their organization and the team, the work ethic they've been putting in, is starting to capitalize. And I think MLG Orlando 2011 really kind of encapsulates. It makes it look picture good. Basically, what I'm trying to say is that we've all been working really hard. The team's been obviously taking very serious steps into making this the foremost professional organization in an atmosphere where the game's really growing. And we're starting to see that. 3 EGs in the top 8. Puma taking 7th after, I think, a 5th place finish in his previous and only 2 MLGs he's gone to. Huck, who has been top 8 in every single MLG he's gone to this year, I believe, now winning the entire event, being the first foreigner to do that, the first guy to repeat win MLG that's Korean or non-Korean, and also breaking the curse that you have to go to an MLG for the first time to win. I mean, all kinds of records set, all kinds of taboos and everything you could ever imagine put aside. And then it's actually almost a shame because as amazing as it was that Huck won this tournament, Idra actually had one of the best tournaments he's ever had in his life. He defeated Bomber, who's widely considered one of the best Korean Terrans, which instantly makes you one of the best players on the entire planet. He overcame Boxer in a Game 7 when he lost 3 in a row. I don't think, like, my biggest fear and regret about this tournament would be that kind of storyline falls by the wayside, because that is an Idra that in the past would have lost that game and we all would have gone, okay, you know, good games, but same old Idra. No. He sat down, buckled down, and he won that game, and that's absolutely amazing. And it's not even like he got rocked by a Protoss player, so we can't look at that and be like, well, Idra hit his wall. Nope. He had an epic series with the guy who went on to take 2nd place. He's a 2-time GSL champion in MC, and Idra brought him down to the wire. Like, that last game we were all watching, there were moments when everyone in that auditorium thought, oh my god, Idra's going to do it. So that's our 3 big horses. Outside of those guys, Machine had a stellar tournament. He too lost to the Hero, or Liquid Hero, 1-2 in really, really good games. And he had an amazing performance defeating Liquid Tyler as well, an American, top-level Protoss player, another guy that in the past might have been the roadblock for Machine. Myself, not quite as great of a tournament, but I'll tell you this. Outside of the results, I too am actually playing a lot better. And it's actually really nice to be surrounded in a culture of winning, because I look at each and every one of those guys and I say, I can do exactly what they're doing. I know I can. And if I was on another team where that kind of winning wasn't prominent and wasn't present, I don't know that I'd be able to look around me and say, I can do that too. I'd feel alone. I'd feel like outgunned. And that's why it's so nice. So to a T. I mean, even Jake, LZ Gamer, who, he's been really active doing other things. He's got real life. Chasing him at the heels. He came in here and open play and did really well. And the other nice thing too, and this is a really long-winded response obviously, but can't help but to gush a little bit about my team. Outside of results, I think one of the things I hear most about me and my teammates that really makes me proud is that we're one of the most well-represented teams at tournaments. Everybody goes and signs autographs. Everybody says hi. To a T, we're very personable. Even Idra. Hilariously, he actually hears no less than 100 times at each tournament, wow, you're not as mean as you are online. And he always looks at him like, thanks, now I'll sign your shirt. Like, he's actually a really good guy, so I couldn't be more proud.
What accounts for all of this success for Evil Geniuses?
Well, I mean, like I said, it's kind of a culture of winning. EG dates back to its earliest days with a relatively small Canadian first-person shooter Counter-Strike team. But even then, taking 2nd or 3rd was never going to be enough. They always looked to raise the level of competition, raise the bar, and I think they did that with their Counter-Strike team. It was widely recognized as one of the best American teams, and then they went out and they've gotten fighting game players where we just had 4 in the top 8 or something like that, and 2 Marvel vs. Capcom 3 and also Street Fighter. Like, they're doing just amazing things in every division they play in. And for us in the StarCraft division, it's the same thing. Like, in the past, we haven't had these kind of results, and it was never we go back home where we're like, well, gosh darn, we tried our best. It was always, that's not good enough. What are we going to do about improving on that? So the EG Lair really steps it up. Pilgrimages to Korea, very important. I think that's something we all recognize as an integral part of becoming very good. All that said and done, we wouldn't be able to do those things without sponsors. So to have such phenomenal sponsorships like SteelSeries, like Monster, like Intel, like Kingston, obviously, making sure that we have what it takes to get to those places, then we're able to do the things we need to do in those places to become winners, and that's what's really important.
You mentioned that you feel like you do have what it takes to compete with those top-level players, and the gap between Korean dominance and foreigner skill is slowly closing. Do you feel like we will begin to see foreigners and Koreans playing on equal playing fields, or is that still that kind of untouchable, well, he's a Korean, I mean, I could never beat him?
Yeah, I mean, I think if the Koreans work really hard, they might be able to win a few of these tournaments. We'll see. But no, kidding aside, I think one of the really it just makes me so happy to finally live in an era where we go into a tournament and everyone on the team, Evil Geniuses, doesn't look at a Korean and say, well, they're impossible. You know, I just won't do that. I going into this tournament, I had that attitude a little bit. I had Codes, Champion, Bomber. You know, I had these ridiculous players in my group, but through Huck and Idra's success, I can now look at them and say, no, I have the tools at hand to be able to overcome those kind of adversaries, and I'm looking forward to doing that in the future.
You do live in the EG lair, so you have the opportunity to live in a pro house, work with pro players, and practice extensively every day. But I know you have mentioned that you have a desire to go and train in Korea. Do you feel like that's necessary to be competing at the top level in StarCraft II right now?
I think Idra's kind of proof that it's not necessarily necessary. I think one of the many jokes you can make about Greg is that he's said time and time again leading up into this, like, I'm going back to Korea to become good again. Well, he's won IEM Guangzhou, and he's taken fourth here while training in the EG lair. You know, so I think if you were to use the term necessary and talk about what you have to do to become a winner at this level in a game as difficult as StarCraft II, you need to look at things like, where are you practicing and how much are you practicing? So does Korea help? Absolutely. Is it the only way to do it? I don't think so. If you have a pro gaming house where you're surrounded by people that are motivated, playing, and invested in the same kind of goal that you are, and that is to win in StarCraft II, I think you can create that culture. So I know that Team Rain just recently opened up their house in San Francisco. I know that there was the Sweden house. They didn't take it quite as serious. But the hope is that with Evil Geniuses saying, hey, here's where we're competing, here's what we're doing, and it's working, that other organizations like a Complexity or some of these other groups will say, well, it looks like we got to do the same thing. And through that competition, everyone benefits.
Next up is MLG Providence, and that's actually going to be the last stop for this year on the MLG Pro Circuit. Can you explain a little bit how the points that you all have accumulated throughout the MLG Pro Circuit will make you stand at MLG Providence, and kind of what you're looking forward to or what we should watch for there?
Idra took #1 seed and Huck #2, which means they'll be on opposite sides of the bracket. It also means that, as far as I understand, MLG Providence is not the same traditional MLG tournament where no matter how high you're seeded, you're still just put into pool play. They're put into a bracket right off the bat. So Idra and Huck have actually already skipped several rounds of the tournament, and I think they've actually already won money just by their placing that way. So EG has 2 of their strongest horses already launched into the top echelons of that tournament, which is really exciting. Puma, with his performance, was able to secure himself a top 16 spot as well. And actually, in doing so, he bumped me out of the top 16. And I already got a bunch of tweets and people saying, you know, I'm really sorry about that. You feel bad. And I not even for 1 second did I look at that and say, oh, shoot, that's really bad. Because as far as I'm concerned, Puma earned that spot, and I didn't. I mean, I hold the control to my own destiny in my own hands, and I wasn't able to get there. So the nice thing for me, that's not the end of the fight for me. I get to go into MLG Providence, and there is a pool play, and I get to do the best I can to kick some ass and try to get myself back up there.
As the captain and also as an individual player, you're responsible for, like you said, your own destiny, as well as, to some degree, the rest of the players and how they're going to train. So moving forward between now and Providence, what are you looking to do with the team and with yourself training-wise?
Just keep the good thing rolling. I mean, honestly, like we're in the playoffs for the Masters Cup for EG. We're in the playoffs for the Ghost of Coaching Premier League, where we did really well in ESEA. In every tournament so far, EG has shown that they are the team to beat. They're the organization to beat. So nothing's going to change when we go home as far as I'm concerned. In fact, I think when you win something like this, it's important to take back and let that soak in for a minute. That doesn't mean we stop practicing. It doesn't mean we take it easy. It just means that we absorb this winning feeling. And what separates a Huck and Idra and Puma from, I think, the rest of the players on a whole, but even some of us on EG, is that they know what it takes to win that major championship. So it's really important for us to kind of absorb what they're doing and see what makes them the championship caliber player and to learn from them. So to go back into the lair and really just spread that winning feeling amongst all of us so that we can kind of push forward and get the same kind of results.
Speaking about that feeling, your fans, like you said, have expressed a lot of concern about how you might be feeling and given you a lot of encouragement. Do you have any words for your fans or any calls to action for them, things you would like them to do or know?
Well, to be honest, I mean, I almost had all my street credit absolutely ruined after my match against Polt Prime because I stepped off that stage and there was dozens of people ready to greet me and say, hey, you know, like, awesome try, and we love you and stuff like that. And it was just, it kind of took me aback to just kind of realize that, like, this is such a great community, such good people that I want to say you can do no wrong, but I'm actually a testament that you can. I've made some serious mistakes in the past, obviously, and will probably continue to make some more. But one of the things I can always take away from it is that I'm never playing for myself. I'm not up there on the stage trying to beat someone so that EG.iNcontroL can have a better future. It's because there's so many people rallied behind me and supporting me that I really do feel like when I play, I'm playing for other people as well. So I couldn't do it without them, and it's just awesome.
There are a lot of people that go into making this dream a reality for you. Being able to play professionally is pretty awesome. Is there anyone you'd like to thank for that before we sign off?
Well, I mean, as kind of the mantra you'll hear throughout this entire interview, it's my team. Like, I can't, you know, a lot of people were like saying to me during the tournament, hey, really sorry you got eliminated, you know, really tough run, you'll get them next time kind of thing. But what they'd always followed up with is, but you got to be proud of your team. And I absolutely am. Like, I was just as excited when Huck was up there. When Idra was making his run, I think my heart's never moved that fast, except for maybe when I was doing a few laps running years back. And I was just very, very excited, very happy. I could not be more proud of the team. And, of course, what makes the team at this level is their sponsors. So Intel, Monster, Kingston, SteelSeries. These are the people that are behind an organization like this and make sure that we can get to the places we need to be and do the stuff we need to do. And, I mean, I always say this, but I hope it rings true with people. Like, it's not that I have to say that. I simply don't. But I need to and I want to, so that, like, people understand that we don't get to do these things if people aren't helping us